feels like home. I'm so thrilled to be back here today. This time last year, I was on the stage for 2 whole days, so I've been given time off for good behaviour. So I've just got a few panels this year, which has really been fun catching up with everybody. Delighted you're all here. I'm particularly delighted to be hosting this panel discussion with such a brilliant panel. So I'm going to ask the four of them just to come on up here and take their seats. We're all mic'd up. And when they're sitting down, I'll introduce them. Because, you know, there's no point rushing these things. We've got 35 minutes. Come on up here. Take a seat wherever you like. I'll get out of the way. Okay, guys. Hello. Now, those lights are bright. Did anyone bring shades? How have you been coping? Okay, so we are here to talk about the Sentient City, and what a super panel that I have to talk about exactly that. So I'm going to say their names and who they work for, and then I'm going to let them all introduce themselves, because they can do that better than I will. So I am joined, bonjour, bienvenue.
Bonjour.
This is Etienne Louvet from Iona Drones. We have next to you, we have Maya Pindias from Another Earth, also from Austria, but I don't know how to say that in Austrian. But anyway, you're very welcome. We have my good friend Catherine Lynch from Innovate Ireland, and last but not least, we have the very man himself, Shane Mann from Transaura. You are all so welcome here today. We are going to be talking about the Sentient City. So what I would like you to do, just to get all warmed up and relaxed, we'll start with you, Shane, down the end. We'll work our way back to here. If you would just like to tell everybody who you are, what your company does in a minute, or why you want to join this panel today to talk about the Sentient City.
Thanks very much. Thanks to everybody. My name is Shane Mann, and I'm the CEO of Transaura. We're a SaaS business. We're in Limerick City, and we deliver software, compliance, safety, management software to the transport industry. So we're kind of a fleet management and intelligence provider to the software industry. And why I think it's valuable for me to be here today and to contribute is we're very, very close to supply chains that help move goods and freight into cities, but we also do a lot of work with bus companies. So we also know kind of what goes into moving people around cities and what happens in the dark at night and in the early mornings that people don't see, to make sure that the cities work, and that should be useful in the conversation we want to have about this.
I think it's great, because we were chatting outside, and it's almost like this man, except for those of you who are going to go home really, really late tonight and after the after party, this man knows about the secret life of cities. What happens after dark? I stayed in Dublin the other night, just off Fitzwilliam Street, and the racket. I am so used to living in the quiet of the Midlands of Mullingar, and I have not heard beer and bin trucks that hour in the morning in a very, very long time. So you're going to be giving us an insight into the secret life of the Sentient City, what happens after dark, but also moving people around during the day. Next, we have Catherine Lynch, Innovate Ireland. Innovate me.
Well, I'm the chair of Innovate Ireland, and we're on a mission to make Ireland the centre of excellence for innovation in its broadest terms, beyond R&D, but to bring innovation into our DNA, our way of thinking. I think naturally through creativity we do that. But for today, and particularly increasingly, I'm getting more and more interested about where humanity and technology clash, overlap, and where we can bring our sense of community and crack into where technology can bring us and what that will mean for our society.
I think that's a really good point. It's something that came up at the CIO 100 this morning. We so often look at innovation from the perspective of return on investment for shareholders, rather than looking at innovation from the broadest possible set of metrics, which are much more around that impact on society, impact on people. So I think it's a really useful and insightful part to have on this panel today. It cannot all just be about the technology. But speaking about the technology, the lady who has so much of that really, really cool data is our next panelist, Maya Pindias from Another Earth. So tell me, whisk us away to another world, another Earth of the synthetic data.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. So at Another Earth, we're really trying to enable the potential of Earth observation. So Earth observation is anything from satellites, drones, aerial data, where you can look at the planet and changes within a planet from above. What we focus on is providing the data for it, synthetic data, to be able to track and monitor and really understand the changes in the planet's surface. Particularly when we're looking at cities, right? Rapidly changing, rapidly growing, and we have on one hand the built infrastructure, on the other hand, green spaces, well, our human existence within those. It's really about creating the balance then, providing the tools to be able to leverage, particularly satellite imagery and AI when it comes to Earth observation, to really understand the cities better. I'm happy to dive a bit more into this.
That's a really nice one, actually. It reminds me a little bit of Tree Metrics, an Irish startup down in Cork. Well, not a startup anymore, they've been around a long time. But they use satellite data to look at the wellness of forests. And I suppose what you're looking at here is just that more broader wellness, not just of trees, but actually of cities. And I suppose urban sprawl as well, and just how much of that earth space has been taken up by cities. So that's a really, I know we're going to get a lot of rich content out of that. Now, my friend here beside me, Etienne, and I have been hanging out for nearly, I think, 2 days now. It feels like I've met you more than half the rest of these people. Tell us a little, Iona is a very famous technology name in Ireland, because Iona Technologies was one of our very, very big first tech Irish Indigenous startup businesses. So it's a very sacred name here, Iona. So you're Iona Drones. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So I'm the founder and CEO of Iona Drones. We started actually in the UK and we moved to Ireland for reasons that we'll probably explain after. And I think the participation to this panel for me is about, I'm the user actually of the data, I'm the user of the Earth's observation, I'm the user of like everything that we can leverage in terms of the city or rural areas in order to create autonomous logistics. And this is connecting also with another subject that is quite dear to my heart, which is progress and innovation are not always exactly the same. So we need to make sure that like we control those technological layers so that we can actually create progress and not just like create innovation for in the sake of innovation. We're doing more specifically rural and remote deliveries. And we're also like working with a lot of institutions in terms of autonomous logistics and air transportation for medical parcels and everything that is needed.
Okay, I gotta tell you guys, I'm a little bit nervous. You're all just so on message and on song. We'll have no controversy on this panel at all. You're all way too worthy and way too good. I need some bad tech up here. I need some evil. No, this is really, really good. We're talking about a sentient city, and it is lovely to hear everybody here that's coming at this from the perspective of how do we make society and lives better. And I was thinking a lot about that term, a sentient city. So, sentient, to be feeling. And one of the things that's always struck me is that we're going to put so much emphasis in connected cities. It tends to be about how fast are the trains and how fast is the Wi-Fi. And we talk about connected cities about being faster and smoother. And I have a colleague who always talks about a frictionless society, and I pointed out to my colleague Aidan, I don't know if he's here, I said, Aidan, you cannot even make a baby without friction. You can't make a fire without friction. Who would want to live in a frictionless society? Friction is good. Opportunities to meet people is good. So you're going to give us autonomous logistics, and I'm never going to talk to another human again. But there are loads of ways that what you're doing is improving the well-being and the feeling of the people in the city. It's not that the cities are sentient, it's that the people are sentient. It is not about connecting devices and being able to use AI to make sure they all feel good about themselves. It's to make sure the people are feeling good about themselves and living better, happier lives. Catherine, I can see you wanting to jump in there on that.
Yeah, because something that really struck me, when you rang me about to come on this panel, I had just got off the phone with the CEO of a mental health charity, a national mental health charity, who was telling me that 20% of all of their calls are from people who are lonely. And we had last year, or the year before, 20% of us reporting feeling lonely. This is not age related, it is not socioeconomic related. And that really, really struck me, that here we are in a hyper-connected, we're supposed to be all social and connected people. And we have the highest level of reported loneliness in Europe. And so I'm on a mission to fix that. And there is actually, in case you don't know, a loneliness task force. And all